Hi, this is Dr. Gold. Over the course of the semester, I'm going to be covering some of these PowerPoint decks that you see in front of you that sort of reinforce some of the material that is covered in the chapters, just to help reinforce the learning process. Here's my contact information. We've already spent quite a bit of time on the syllabus, so I'm just not going to really go into much detail there. You should know that you do need to get a financial calculator in addition to the textbook and registering for my finance lab and the MarketWatch stock market challenge. This is the calculator that I recommend. It's a Texas Instruments BA2 Plus. It's a standard financial calculator and one that I think you'll find to be relatively easy to use. There's a lot of instructions in the textbook that kind of follow the keys on this particular calculator. Plus, there's a wide array of different YouTube videos that can help to explain how to use this calculator. This is again the grading metrics, which we've covered in the syllabus. And you know that if you miss an assignment, due date, and you ask me for an exception, this is kind of what I'll say and how you'll feel. We're just basically not going to allow makeups for missed assignments. So please, I plead with you at this stage of the semester to try to get ahead of your work. So let's get started. What is finance? Finance is many, many different things. It's defined by the textbooks, various textbooks in different ways. Here are some of the definitions that some textbooks have. I think in the end, what really finance is all about is how we go about valuing things. Some people value things a certain way, while others value things differently. And that's kind of the both cool and unique dimension of finance, is that it's highly subjective. You may find no value in this course, and another student might find great value in this course. Doesn't mean that the course is good or bad, or that I'm good or bad in terms of instructing the material for the course. It just means that people place different values on things for different reasons. What I'm going to do right now is a little bit of an exercise with you. So that's me, by the way, in case you've never met me. I'm going to do a little bit of an exercise with you. So please get a piece of paper out right now. And what we'll do is we'll have you write down on a blank sheet of paper the numbers 1 through 5 from the top all the way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go through a little exercise that I think will help you to understand how valuing things can be a bit challenging. Before we get to that exercise, here's a quote by Warren Buffett, one of the more famous figures on Wall Street and legendary investor. He says that price is what you pay and value is what you get. And I think the key is for investors and for producers of goods and services is that they always want to make sure that the perceived value that people are getting from something, from an experience, from a product, from an investment, that perceived value is greater than the price that they're paying for that good, service, or financial instrument. Your job as a student of finance will be to determine what that value is. So anyways, here's how I'd like you to map out the piece of paper, 1 through 5. I'm going to show you 5 different products, and I'm going to ask you to write down next to each number on the previous slide, this slide here, or on your piece of paper, the dollar amount that you think these items cost within the marketplace. Not what you'd pay necessarily, not what you can afford to pay, but what you think these products actually cost. So here we go. We're going to start out first with a 2013 Lexus GS. Don't cheat and look up the prices for these things. Just write down whatever your gut instinct is for this particular item and put it next to the number 1. Okay, the next item that we're going to go to, which is product number 2, is an autographed baseball of legendary baseball player Babe Ruth. So think about it for 10 seconds or so and then write down on a piece of paper how much you think that baseball is worth in the marketplace. Okay, item number 3 is 10 shares of stock in Coca-Cola. So try to imagine what you think one share of stock of Coca-Cola costs, and then multiply that by 10. And whatever that amount is, you'll put down next to the number 3 on your piece of paper. Item number 4 is a bit tricky. Here's item number 4. Item number 4 is a apartment on Bayshore Boulevard in South Tampa. This is the unit number. It's in Ballast Point. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath unit with a beautiful water view and what appears to be a really nice kitchen. So think about that. You may have no idea, so you're just going to be guessing. But write down a dollar amount that you think that apartment is worth in the marketplace. Okay, now item number 5. Item number 5 is 2 years worth of tuition at the University of South Florida in their MBA program for an out-of-state tuition. So what's the out-of-state tuition for the MBA graduate school program at USF down in St. Petersburg? I happen to teach in that program as an adjunct faculty member there. So I know a lot about that program and the school, and it's a really fine institution, an outstanding MBA program. But, you know, everything is relative, so write down what you think that costs. All right, now before we actually share with you the numbers, the amounts for each of these items, let's quickly review what you were asked to do. So here's product 1, the Lexus GS 2013 model. You should have that next to the number 1. The Babe Ruth baseball, product number 2, signed by Babe Ruth. Item 3, 10 shares of Coca-Cola stock. So whatever you think that dollar amount is, put that next to number 3. Number 4, the apartment on Bayshore Boulevard. And number 5, the 2 years worth of tuition at the MBA program at USF St. Pete. All right, so here we go. Here are the actual values for these things in the marketplace. The Lexus is $48,000, so write that down next to whatever it is you put down. For item 2, $20,000 was the average rate for a signed Babe Ruth baseball on eBay, which was the source that I used to come up with this. Some of the baseballs were higher and some were lower. Some of you may have put $2 million for a Babe Ruth baseball, but that's okay. Just put $20,000 next to that. Item 3, as of December 14th, Coca-Cola stock is at $41. So you multiply that by 10, you get to $415. Well, it's $41.50. Item 4, the apartment on Bayshore Boulevard, $530,000, a little over $500,000 for that apartment. And item number 5, $42,000 for the 2-year MBA program at USF. I'm going to stop this video at this point, and we'll pick up with the remainder of this week's lecture in some additional videos. But just think for a second about what's just happened. You came up with what you thought was the value of these 5 different products. You may have been close on some of them. Maybe you got all of them right. I suspect you didn't, and that you're probably surprised by the value of some of these items. And in that lies the essence of finance, is how do we go about valuing things? Some markets and some places give you a greater ability to be able to value things, like the stock market, because it's a real-time price or value for a particular stock, but it doesn't mean it's right. That's why, at any given time, somebody is selling shares of Coca-Cola and somebody's buying them. The person who's selling them thinks that Coca-Cola is overvalued. The persons that that's buying them at that price thinks that Coca-Cola is undervalued and is going to go up. And that's really the most difficult part of the field of finance, is how do we accurately go about valuing things in more of an objective lens as opposed to a subjective one. So I'll stop there and we'll pick up with the second part of this lecture in the next video.